Well, and I want to see Chris Flowers on the chat and Chris is from our town, and so he knows a lot of stuff, but he made a good point that I want everybody to there. This couple was not just a random couple that were walking down the levee. I mean, this couple owns the property that is adjacent to this site. So there is definitely some, yeah. Our perpetrators are Parks and Rec. I mean, that's who's doing it, but it's the same thing. It's that fear, and they always talk about that they're going to call the police. And you guys just mentioned something about how you are already being harassed. You're already being put in jail. Just think about someone who's super vulnerable living outside. That threat of being thrown into jail, getting another criminal charge, because even if it's bogus and they get out the next day, their stuff is gone. They're starting completely all over again.
You know, I want to interrupt there and just put this up on the screen, Jen, because this is an example of what goes on here in Lawrence. Our homeless population is demonized, and and this is countering everything, and our citizens don't even give the chance once they see this kind of stuff. And when our local newspaper puts stuff out like this, I mean, all three of us, Jen, the two Jens and I, we all know this kid, and he grew up here. He's been a part of this town, and we really question, because this is really out of character for him. So how overblown was this? And this is an example of how they get lumped into this category, and there's no way that they can ever argue against that, because nobody's going to listen to what they say. They're only going to listen to what that person that was feeling assaulted and feeling threatened by that homeless person, because that fits our narrative.
Yeah, this is sickening. I mean, I will say that once this name came out about this individual, before this was even posted, we all the advocates were just saying, no way. I mean, Jen can probably talk on this more. I mean, she's known, and I'm going to use street names, but she's known Short Man for forever. And so, Jen, what were your thoughts on this? I mean, have you ever seen this guy?
Not out of him. I got to admit, he was in the wrong as far as going up to talk to these people, but it was mainly to tell them, they don't like their photographs taken, that he totally forgot that he even had the axe in his hand. It wasn't even a part of it. It's not like he was chasing them to do them harm. It's been totally blown out of proportion completely.
Well, and that's it. Like, if I were on the streets and in a very vulnerable position, and someone took my picture, or someone had a camera out and were videotaping me, are they allowed to? Yes. But at the same time, I probably would be saying some words too. So is this a homeless situation, or is this just a human situation? But we're going to peg it all as, this person was unhoused. That's why this person's unhinged. This person's a danger. And now every unhoused person you come in contact with are going to come after you with an axe. And yeah, I mean, and if we're talking about an axe, I'm sure it was a hatchet, if I had to guess. And anyone who works outside or works street outreach knows very plainly that it is not uncommon for folks to have knives, hatchets, things like that. Those are tools. They do not become a weapon until they are used as a weapon. They are tools. And if the moment we take those things away from them, that could be life and death for them. But again, any other person can walk around. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, my friend Mike over here, he is a Second Amendment gun-toting son of a gun, I mean, and like I said, our politics are not always the same, but that's okay, because we can respect each other. And I'm going to ask you, how many times have you had a story on the front news of the paper that you were harassing someone because you had your gun out there? Mike?
Not once. I've never even had anybody come up to me and question me about it.
I don't even think the advocates have been able to, locate Shortman. I know all of us have been trying to look for him to try to talk to him, not because we want to question about him. We want to see if he's okay. We want to find out and provide some support. And then if he wants to share what happened, again, that consent piece, then we want to be there to listen. But I think even Jen can't find him. I think that right now he's probably in hiding somewhere just because.
Are we going to see a warrant for this guy? Because here in Denver, this happens often. We go through this several times a week with folks. Somebody gets to tell their story. Boom. Cops show up. They're going to jail on the he said, she said, or a warrant's written. There's a warrant for their arrest. My question was, where's the proof here? So,
well, and I think he's in hiding because unfortunately in Kansas, what we've seen, and this is like getting into another complete story, but when we had the restaurant that it's Johnny's, that was it's actually set right in front of the camp, I guess you can say. The camp is behind it, but they shut their restaurant down, and you should have seen how many people came out of the woodworks threatening this unhoused population that they would go take care of them, that they would throw their stuff in the river, that they would, if they saw an unhoused person walking down the road, they'd run them over. They'd take care of it for Johnny's. It just turned into a whole vengeance thing. And so I'm more worried about the fact that he's probably in hiding because his name's been put all over the paper now. And in Kansas, people will go after him for this because they think that they're going to fulfill some sort of vendetta.
Vigilante justice. Yeah, this is nuts.
Well, and I want to say Chris Flowers in the chat and Chris is from our town, and so he knows a lot of stuff, but he made a good point that I want everybody to there. This couple was not just a random couple that were walking down the levee. This couple owns the property that is adjacent to this site. So there is definitely some there's some questions about why they push this agenda, especially because 3 or 4 days later, it was in the paper about how they want, not necessarily saying they want to shut down the camp, but talking about all of the issues on the camp. And so and what's sad is they could have picked, there are individuals that are unhoused, and I'm going to say it, that they could have selected that maybe some of us would have been like, oh, if he was having a bad day, that could have happened. But they happened to come in contact with the most docile, unhoused person that is out there, that causes all of us just to really question if this actually happened the way that it is, that it's written.
Well, and he's always been very helpful with other campers as well. And he's somebody that will look out for other people and defend the camp and things like this. So to hear him aggressively going after somebody, I'm not necessarily buying all that.
And the whole key in it is that Shortman to this day has still, as far as I'm aware of, not talked to any reporters. He's not one to go talk to reporters. He doesn't like doing that. So I don't see how this reporter has gotten a true story of any kind when he hasn't even talked to Shortman.
Because they got the one side that they needed from the city.
I know.
They didn't need to hear from Shortman, just like they don't need to hear from us. All they need to hear from the city is that way they can spin their narrative.
I love these conversations.
I can't hide.